William Shakespeare is generally regarded as the greatest writer of English literature. He used a vocabulary of over 29,000 words. The King James Version of the Bible, in comparison, uses a little over 3,000 words. For 400 years after his death, his plays continue to be widely read and produced. Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon on April 23, 1564. By 1592, Shakespeare was a reputable actor and had written several plays. By 1594, Shakespeare was a part owner and main playwright for the Lord Chamberlain's Men, one of the most successful theatre companies in London. The Lord Chamberlain's Men built the Globe Theatre in 1599, and here most of Shakespeare's plays were performed. The Globe Theatre could hold more than 3,000 people. Plays were presented in the afternoon because there was no artificial lighting. The beginning of a play was announced with a raised flag and a trumpet fanfare. A black flag meant a tragedy, a white flag meant a comedy, and a red flag meant the play was a history. Women's roles were often played by boys because acting was seen as too indelicate for women. This is one reason why there aren't many female characters in Shakespeare's plays. Plays went quickly because there were no scene changes. The octagon-shaped outer wall of the theater enclosed a roofless inner pit into which the stage projected. Around the pit were 3 galleries, one above the other. The topmost gallery had a thatched roof. The 3 tiers to the stage were heaven, earth, and hell. Trapdoors led from the main stage to hell. The theater was destroyed in 1613 when a cannon was discharged during a performance of Shakespeare's Henry VIII and set fire to the thatched roof. The building burned within an hour, but all of the actors in the audience escaped safely, and Shakespeare's plays were saved. The theater was rebuilt in 1614, but was destroyed by the Puritans 30 years later. The stage had a platform that jutted out into the pit, a standing room area for groundlings, those people who paid a penny to get in. Box seats for upper-class people were situated in 3 galleries around the theater. The crowd was very noisy during performances. Scenery was very minimal. The setting was created by the playwright's words. One reason the Globe was successful was because it was one of the only theaters where Shakespeare's plays could be performed. In all, Shakespeare wrote 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 narrative poems. Perhaps one of Shakespeare's best-known tragedies is the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. A tragedy is a type of drama or literature that shows the downfall or destruction of a noble or outstanding person, traditionally one who possesses a character weakness called a tragic flaw. In Romeo and Juliet, the tragedy is one of circumstances and rashness rather than one of a character possessing a tragic flaw. The thoughtless and impulsive actions of the characters in Romeo and Juliet lead not only to their deaths, but also to those of Tybalt, Mercutio, and Paris. The play takes place during the summer in 2 Italian cities, Verona and Mantua, sometime during the 1300s. During the Renaissance, young people needed the permission of their parents to get married. Arranged marriages were common, especially with the upper class, but they usually required the bride's consent. Girls could legally marry at age 12, but most were 15 or 16. Juliet would have been considered a young bride because she was only 13. Unlike some of Shakespeare's main characters, the main characters in Romeo and Juliet do not have great power or ability. Theirs is a common problem, young lovers conflicting with parental authority. The play was popular in part because it was controversial, encouraging marriage for love rather than by parental choice. Romeo and Juliet was probably written in 1595. Shakespeare did not come up with the story on his own. He borrowed the story from other writers, mainly Arthur Brooks' narrative poem, The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet, which was based on an ancient story. It was a very popular play with Elizabethan audience. This story of 2 star-crossed lovers was very popular because there never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.